Thank you, Senator Green. Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President. Well, thank goodness the Morrison government won the election, is looking after Australians in this unprecedented time of 2020. And, you know, I would just like to say to Senator Green and to Senator Walsh, who clearly have sort of missed what's been going on this year, and just point out to them that it is a global pandemic. So when we talk about a softening of the jobs market and an expectation that there will be businesses, increasing number of insolvencies, that it is a little bit more challenging to find a job, that there are pressures at the moment around the economy and the workforce, that would be due to the fact that we are in unprecedented times globally. So that seems to have missed their attention, and their total lack of recognition of the economic carnage that has occurred globally thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, has followed on from the bushfires in Australia, seems to have sort of passed them by. But as I said, for many Australians, they are so incredibly grateful that it is the Morrison government that is in charge. And because the Morrison government that had put the economy in such a strong position prior to this occurring, we were able to act quickly, we were able to act responsibly, and we were able to act in a way that ensured Australians were in the best possible position to weather the storm and to make an economic recovery as soon as was possible. This included two measures very early in the piece. Both JobKeeper and JobSeeker were implemented. JobKeeper ensured that employers and employees were able to stay connected. Even when businesses were unable to operate, employers and employees were able to stay connected. And what we're seeing now, as businesses are starting to open up, as the economy is starting to move and as workers are returning to their places of employment, we are seeing that businesses no longer qualify. And I'm sure what those opposite don't understand, since they are so disconnected from small business, family-owned businesses, in fact anything in the private sector, that they actually don't understand that those businesses see as one of their greatest achievements that they no longer qualify for JobKeeper, that they absolutely celebrate the fact that their business is operating to a level that they no longer qualify for JobKeeper, that they are able to bring their employers back, that they're able to activate once again and act in a way that their employers are back working and contributing to the economy in such a positive way. Because we on this side understand that it is businesses that create jobs, not unions, and not the government. It is businesses that create jobs. It is innovative Australians that create jobs, that ensure the workplace is contributing to the economy, and that Australians are able to get back to work and look after themselves and their families. But JobSeeker was also put in place, and JobSeeker was a supplement that was increased. On top of, there was a JobSeeker supplement that was put in place, a temporary measure, something else that those opposite don't understand, and particularly up on our, well, interestingly sitting on my far right, but of course ideologically on my far left, but they would like to see a replacement, a living wage, and we all understand that that's their position. But we did put in place a temporary supplement to JobSeeker, which has now been extended to March, something again opposite they don't understand, that additional $3.2 billion of spending through to March. Again, an additional $3.2 billion of spending that somehow or other equates to a cut over there. Lucky for them, they don't have to sit an HSC maths exam anytime soon, but has been extended to March 31. Also, a reduction of mutual obligation for an extended period of time, something, again, those people that sit at the end would have very much enjoyed seeing that being removed for a period of time. But that JobSeeker ensured that those that did lose connection to the workforce were able to see that COVID period through. But we are seeing the economy improve. We are seeing significant improvements. We're seeing consumer confidence increasing week on week. In fact, we've had 10 weeks of consumer confidence consistently increasing. And this week we've seen a fantastic $4 billion program pass the Senate in JobMaker. And what we've done here, something again that those opposite don't seem to understand, we have a 10% youth unemployment rate. And the last time we had a recession in Australia, that the hardest group to get back to work, those that were affected for the most significant period of time were the younger workers. They found it more difficult to get back to work. They were more impacted for a longer period of time to get back into the workforce. So what the Morrison government has done is going to invest $4 billion in the JobMaker scheme, ensuring that those under 35 are given an opportunity to reconnect with the workforce as quickly as possible. And, you know, it was wonderful to see Senator Hanson and Senator Roberts get behind that and understand the importance of supporting our youth and getting them back into the workplace as quickly as possible. Now, I do note with some irony that it was a senator from Queensland and a senator from Victoria on the other side that came in to make criticism of what the Morrison government has done in response to COVID. Now, I mean, this is... if it wasn't so ironic, it would be laughable in the fact that we have Victoria, the great drag on the nation when it comes to the economic recovery, the failure of quarantine, the hotel quarantine disaster that led to an extended lockdown, the economic shutdown of the nation's second biggest economy, the Premier Dan Andrews in the Republic of Danistan, where the dictatorship has taken off, where everyone was locked down in their homes, the economy, the tap turned off, where we're seeing an economic, the economy will struggle to get back for years. And it is absolutely the Victorian economy that is what is going to need most investment to come back. That is where we are having to spend the tax dollars of so many other hard-working Australians, particularly from my home state of New South Wales, where the economy has continued to flourish thanks to fantastic contact tracing, the gold standard by Gladys Berejiklian. But our taxpayer dollars will go to support our fellow Australians in Victoria who have been locked down thanks to a failed quarantine system. But it is a Victorian senator who dared to come in here and criticise the fabulous measures that our New South Wales taxpayers, etc., are planning to pay for and contribute to. And then followed by a Queenslander who, in the Republic of Palaszczuk, criticised the fact that in Cairns, job seekers can't find a job. Well, perhaps if the tourism market was allowed to open, supported by fabulous Sydney-siders who would love to come up and spend their dollars, who are banned for no other reason than it's a little bit petty. And as we know, the Premier of Queensland, she is the Princess of Petty. The text would have been
Senator
flying
Pratt.
last night after having themselves handed the absolute wooden spoon in the state of origin. She wouldn't have been happy with that, the Princess of Palaszczuk. So she'll be probably extending that ban on Sydney-siders for just a little bit longer because her football team didn't get up. The pettiness that we see coming out of Queensland is really like, honestly, Regina George, Mean Girls would be absolutely so impressed. I'm sure that Premier Palaszczuk has her own little burn book going up there at the moment, and on the front cover is the fabulous Premier Berejiklian, who's absolutely showing the rest of the country what it looks like to do exceptional contact tracing. But not only has the Morrison government continued to deliver JobKeeper, JobSeeker, JobMaker and getting everybody back to work, we have delivered a budget that is absolutely focused on jobs. And we are seeing that across the country in states that are opening up, that job creation is occurring across the board. And in New South Wales, it's incredibly satisfying for me to go up to one of my areas that I look after, the fabulous Hunter region, to see the investments that we're making across the board in so many innovative areas. Whether it's the defence industry, I've worked so closely with wonderful Defence Industry Minister Melissa Price, where we've made over $50 million of announcement in fabulous innovative industries, in making sure that we can make body armour that's more adaptable for different body shapes and sizes, that's lighter and more agile for our troops, where we've looked at millions of dollars have gone into investment around submarine technology, where we've looked at the Singleton Army Base and how we can better work with our troops up there. These investments are so critical. But of course, that is nothing when you look at also the investment we've made on the energy side. And it's always a pleasure to go up and see the member for Hunter at these events, because no one understands the importance of affordable and reliable baseload power like the member for Hunter. And it's such a pity to see that he's forced out of shadow cabinet because of the loony left taking over the energy policy of those opposite. I mean, poor Joel, out on his own, you can't even look his own constituents in the face anymore, because as much as he understands that the blue-collar high-vis are the old Labor voters of the past, that his party has now abandoned them for the inner west, for the latte-sipping lefties, for making sure that it's all about where the sun is providing the renewable energy, doesn't care if Tomago Smelter goes offline, because when they offload offline for 3 hours, that's it. It's finished. Finished. The smelter closes. But that's okay. They don't care about that in Newtown. They don't care about that in Newtown at all. So, you know, poor Joel had a bit of a cracker this week, poor love. Had to step down. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see him soon when we're up there again. But it's absolutely critical that we acknowledge the fantastic work that the Morrison government's doing on behalf of all Australians, and we know how grateful they are because we hear it all the time when we're out talking to those real Australians. Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy Speaker.